Welcome to my first build of a Star Wars kit. I know it's been a minute since you've seen or heard from me. Apologies, real life got in the way. I've been busy on some really all-encompassing projects, but I'm back. And to get into the swing of things, we're going to do a nice, quick, easy build, and this is Bandai's 172 scale TIE Striker kit. Now, Bandai's reputation precede them. They have amazing molds, very sharp detail, and their kits tend to be on the easier side of things. However, they retain that detail, and the builds I've seen online look great. So excited for this one, so let's get cracking. First things first, I'm gonna build the stand. Then we're gonna do the interior and get the solar panels done and primed. Right, so to prime the pilot, I'm going to use Tamiya TS14 Gloss Black, which is fast becoming my favorite gloss black primer. And then for the solar panels, I'm going to use Mr. Surfacer Black. And of course Mr. Surfacer Grey to do the interior of the ship, and of course we'll be doing the same to the solar panel frames. Then we'll seal in all that work with Vallejo's Ultra Matte polyurethane varnish. The idea being I want to go for two different finishes between the solar panel and the panel frames, as well as the ship itself, just so that the different surfaces react slightly differently to the light. Then I'm gonna do a light wash inside the ship itself, just to enhance some of that nice detail. I'm gonna dampen the surface and then use Vallejo's model wash, making sure it's not too heavy and won't need to be cleaned up too much. Then the pilot, using basically some primary blue and red colors as well as the silver from Vallejo. Difficult to get the paint not to run across these minute details, so using a pen just to color back in the lines, if you will. Right, again, super simple, nice quick build, tiny little decals for this guy's helmet. Now this kit, interestingly, comes with either stickers or decals. I had a look at the stickers and they're horribly thick, and it was a no-brainer to go for the decals instead. With all that done, let's entomb this guy for the rest of his plastic life and start thinking about getting the exterior done. I'd heard all about how great Bandai kits fit together, but my word, it really is a snug fit. The engineering is next level. So interestingly, another thing this kit has, you can either go for glass or non-glass windows. Now, famously, the original studio models used in Star Wars didn't have glass because they were reflecting the studio. So of course this is the option I went for, partly to be authentic to the original models, but also, let's be honest, to avoid some masking. In hindsight, I'm a little torn. I wish I'd kind of gone for the glass option. I think it would have looked a bit better. I may just do that in future TIE Fighter builds. Now, to protect the interior, I'm going to shove a little bit of sponge in there, trying my best not to damage anything, and then moving on to the solar panels. My plan originally was to paint the frames and the solar panels separately, just to save myself the tedious task of masking everything. But looking at it all together, I decided to rather just assemble everything and make sure it all has a unified paint job. So that means, once assembled, we're going to have to mask, which is quite a bit more work, but if it gives us a better end result, it's going to be worth it. And having said that, I'm pretty excited about what I'm seeing so far with these panels. They're looking pretty good. And now the tedious task of masking. Thankfully for you, we can fast forward a little bit. There's such beautiful detail on these solar panels that I was really worried about damaging them when cutting tape. So taking it slow, being patient, making sure not to do that. Right, again we're going to prime with Mr. Surfacer 1500 Grey and do some pre-shading with black. I only have one airbrush and this guy's getting a little worn, and my ability to lay down some decent detail is a bit restricted, so I think a new airbrush is going to be on my shopping list soon. After a little bit of referencing, I came across what I would call my TIE Fighter hull mix, which is 50% Vallejo light ghost grey primer and sky blue to lighten shade as well as add that hint of blue that you see in these things. If anything, I could have gone for a little more blue maybe in the mix, but I'm committed now, and given that I believe I have all the TIE Fighter kits in the Bandai range and I want them to match nicely on the shelf one day, this is what I'm going to commit to for all my builds in future. Cool. So, sealed in all that work with Vallejo satin varnish. Now it's time to bring out all that beautiful detail. Now I don't want to go for a heavy wash. I'm going to be using Abteilung's oils, the smoke color, and thin down quite a bit, creating a beautiful pin wash. You'll see how nicely it spreads through all the details. It's very satisfying to see this pin wash do its thing. Of course you're going to make a mess here and there with this type of process, so I'm using some of those odorless thinners with a soft brush and just helping color it back in the lines again, if you will. Also using a cotton bud with a little bit of thinners on it and smearing in the direction of travel to clean up any blotches. The other thing I'm doing is being quite strategic about when I clean up some of the overwash, if you will, so that the wash ends up being a bit of a filter. Now this is probably one of the most satisfying things I've ever done in my brief modeling career, and that is removing masking tape on the Tire Striker solar panels. If I could play Barry White without getting a copy strike, I would right now. Right, and with that all painted, let's assemble, and again as usual it goes together beautifully. And that was a nice quick build to get back into the flow of things. We're going to have a lot more kits coming soon. There's 5 currently in progress right now. Glad to be back with you again. Thanks so much for watching. Stick around for the reveal. Stay tuned for more builds coming soon. Thanks so much for your time, guys. See you soon.